Hi, my name is Callie Davis. I'm with Forsyth County Schools. This is Technology Infrastructure Overview and Audit of our school system. A little bit of background about Forsyth County Schools. We are a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia. We are located in Cumming, Georgia, near Lake Lanier. We have about 36 total schools, 21 elementary, 10 middle, 5 high. And we also offer 3 alternative or virtual school options, such as Gateway Academy and I Achieve Virtual School, along with offering courses to all students through Georgia Virtual School from the Department of Education. Currently, we have about 45,000 students and growing. We are definitely under construction heavily in this county. We have less than 20% of our students are eligible for free or reduced lunch, and about 6% of our students are English language learners. Some recent accolades about Forsyth County. We're one of the only districts in Georgia to receive a 5-star rating about the financial efficiency plans from the Department of Education. All of our schools have earned a 4 or 5 on the Climate Star survey for Georgia Department of Education, and 20 of our schools have received single statewide accountability system awards from the Governor's Office of Student Achievement. So we are one of the top rated districts in the state of Georgia for school systems. A little bit of overview for our infrastructure and our network capabilities. We have 12 gigabyte internet connections, and that's aggregated. So we have a bunch of them together from different vendors, and so altogether it's about 12 gigabytes. Every campus, and a campus means if you have an elementary and a middle school on the same piece of land, then they share 2 1 gigabyte dark fiber connections. Dark fiber refers to unused fiber optic cable. Oftentimes, companies lay more lines than what's needed in order to curb costs of having to do it again and again. The dark strands can be leased to individuals or other companies who want to establish optical connections among their own locations. In this case, the fiber is neither controlled by nor connected to the phone company. Instead, the company or individual provides the necessary components to make it functional. One of these 1 gigabyte connections that schools are getting from this dark fiber are simply dedicated to Wi-Fi resources. We also offer multiple internet service providers and internet connections to ensure reliability and continuity of service. And trying to provide that continuity of service throughout the school day proves that redundancy is imperative to technology services. We also do this by utilizing a load balancer, multiple routers, firewalls, and which just provide another layer of protection against issues that could potentially slow our internet connection. Currently, FCS provides faculty, staff, and students with about 30,000 computers or internet-capable devices to access learning online. So we are one of the leaders in technology and infrastructure to support the digital age of learning in the 21st century. We started with technology issues back in, I believe, 2007, 2008 as one of the first districts, I think nationwide, that initiated that BYOT, or Bring Your Own Technology, initiative to schools. As far as our inventory, desktop computers take about 40%, typically student computer labs, media center, career tech classes, and every classroom in Forsyth County as a teacher's classroom should have at least 4 student computers to be able to use. Laptop computers are simply teacher only and staff use. It's about 10%, and netbook inventory consists of about 18%. Now, we are definitely a learning environment, our 21st century learning environment, where every classroom is going to have an interactive whiteboard, a ceiling mounted LCD projector, a teacher notebook computer, sound system, and we have connections to the closed circuit broadcast system. We understand that digital educational resources are of much higher quality than content in a textbook, and that digital content offered by Discovery Education, Safari Montage, NetTracker, and others are actually current and engaging. So Forsyth County Schools actually strive to provide the best-in-class digital resources for our students. There has been an accelerated push for laptops and netbooks, and currently we are using netbooks as wireless carts for classrooms to be able to provide a classroom set of computers or internet capability for teachers at given times, and we are adding an additional 4,000 netbooks coming this August for the new school year to our current inventory. We have standard configuration for hardware, which makes it much easier for upgrades and maintenance for our technicians to be able to service the equipment. Very easy between one campus and another school. We also use Xeris brand arrays, which is a smart array and monitors the density of devices and can increase Wi-Fi support depending on the density issues, along with providing no overlap of channels even if classrooms are next door. So it's a high density access point, one of the best on the market. We also have BYOT for all schools. We actually began this initial initiative several years ago, and we expanded the wireless infrastructure so that now every school has a guest BYOT, wireless access point, which does provide filtered internet access, which is important. So we want that internet filtering to happen if you're on a networked one where it's actually a hardwired network, or if you're on wireless. We still need to meet the regulations of FERPA and SEPA, which are state and federal regulations as far as monitoring access and who's online and what content you were able to see. Now, some of the technology tools we do see students bringing into the schools are laptop computers, tablet computers, e-readers, netbook computers, internet-capable gaming devices, and cell phones. Overall, the response to BYOT has been very positive, and teachers actually participate in multiple professional learning opportunities to improve their understanding for this new way of learning. And then our last thing is virtualization. This is actually a new look for our future technology in Forsyth County. Virtualization actually refers to the act of creating a virtual rather than actual version of something, like virtual computer hardware platforms, operating systems, storage devices, computer network resources. Thin client resources consist of about 4% for our current inventory, very, very small, but we're going to be increasing this virtualization scale with the addition of new schools. Much easier to start when it's a new school to be able to put this in. Security plan. This is by no means an exhaustive list. It's just multiple things that we currently have in place. Palo Alto is our vendor for internet filtering, and it is a category filter which helps us maintain compliance for FERPA, SEPA, and any other state and federal regulations that we need. We do have a security team that makes sure we are in full compliance. Have a single sign-on for validity and authentication to reach certain applications or programs. Our passwords do expire every 30 days. Each person has a unique login. Right? We use products to protect our network devices from viruses and malware. The acceptable use policy is within the Student Code of Conduct, and it focuses on 3 main issues: unauthorized access to network resources, misuse of network resources, including use that violates SEPA and FERPA, and damage or theft of any network resource such as hardware or software. We use Infinite Campus for our student information system and tracking student data. We host our own server for Infinite Campus, and it's currently held in our data center at the central office. The information system goes through a backup process nightly. Another way that we have security is we have separate servers, physically separate servers for information such as local school budget and account information, and we're very specific about who has access to what information on which server. Virtual LAN, an example would be Munis. We have this for staff and faculty benefits, salary information, directory membership, authentication process during sign-on, and also an active access control list. The transmission method as far as student records to and from any location in the district is pretty much immediate based on our quality technology services that Forsyth County Schools actually values, and that we have a wide area network. Some other things to point out is our wireless access points do have encryption, and it's WPA2 encryption, which is top of the line currently. We do have secure facilities, so unauthorized access is very unlikely to happen. Typically, I can't walk into the central office and get into the data center because my badge does not scan to allow me to have access to get into that room or that facility. So we do have controlled access to many of those areas. We want to maintain our internet connection. We do this with 2 service providers from 2 different vendors to ensure our internet uptime. Another thing that we use are going to be 2 load balancers, multiple firewalls, and routers, which help to distribute that access to the internet due to the density of devices at specific locations. And we're having to use both of our load balancers now just simply because of the number of devices that students are bringing, and our growth is expanding rapidly. And we are having a hard time trying to keep up with the number of students we have. Our disaster recovery plan. So basically the main mission critical data is mirrored to a different site. We have a new disaster recovery site that's going to be going in for our new high school that is being built, so it gets it physically further away and you have better redundant capabilities. We do have an annual disaster recovery testing to the best extent possible, but they're really unable to test thoroughly. And the reason is going to be it requires downtime. It becomes extremely difficult to get scheduled downtime for systems to be fully offline. Our best tests have actually been when major routers, servers, and appliances have failed unexpectedly, and then the system is actually put to the test. Some strengths of Forsyth County Schools are going to be the amount of devices that we have, currently digital devices, to provide availability of internet connection and learning environments to faculty, staff, and students. Our BYOT initiative, you're still protected by firewalls and filter along with deep packet inspection encryption to ensure that users are safe in the online environment and to meet strict state and federal regulations such as FERPA and SEPA. Facilitating a safe, secure, and easy way for students to connect and use their personal devices demands increasing levels of changes and support. We are also a Google Apps for Education school, where all faculty and staff students have access to Google Drive with unlimited storage size, Google productivity tools, Gmail, and the ability to collaborate locally and globally with classmates. Other security measures such as virtualization, and some advantages of virtualization is going to be our lower total cost of ownership and energy savings by having less hardware. Cloud computing is basically the practice of using a network of remote servers hosted on the internet that will store, manage, and process your data, rather than having them on a local server or a personal computer. Some of the benefits of this is going to be device independence and interoperability, reliability, collaborative tools and environments, reduced capital expenditures, reduced technical support staff, efficient sharing of documents, and anytime, anywhere access to computing resources with an internet-connected device. Areas of concern. We review security policies every 1 to 2 years, and testing the crisis and/or disaster recovery plans are areas of concern. These items can be overlooked very easily because we're busy, yet these place the district at risk if not evaluated and updated every year. So according to Fryer 2003, the potential for security breaches depends on many factors, including the overall design of the network, the authorized public services running on it, and the behavior of users, both staff and students, within the school or district. Thus, regular security audits, vulnerability assessments, and reviews of established security policies are must for your technology plan and budget. My recommendations are looking at consistent schedule for testing security and disaster recovery plans, annual faculty staff training, and extra hardware. So let me explain. The challenge with technology infrastructure is to keep up with not only the tremendous growth in population and the number of classrooms we support, but also to keep up with the new instructional uses and technology initiatives, which grow each year. It's a constant struggle to maintain the standardization and consistency that is necessary to keep the total cost of ownership low, while at the same time providing the needed flexibility so that the technology resources can be utilized to their maximum benefit. The objective for Forsyth County Schools Technology Services is to be as proactive as possible and resolve problems as quickly as possible to minimize downtime and negative impact on instruction. As a technology director, I would possibly suggest routine maintenance days, such as in the summer when the network is used less, to select 1 day each week for maintenance and practice drills for security and disaster recovery plans. According to DavisC 2007, educators and support staff are largely unaware of the threats and vulnerabilities associated with the information systems they use. So another suggestion is to provide mandatory training annually for all employees on security practices and user actions that can create vulnerabilities which affect our data security for the district. Also, if the district updates older equipment, then make it a practice to purchase 1 to 2 extra devices to replace defective devices when needed so that we are ensuring redundancy along with providing more consistent uptime of systems. Overall, Forsyth County Schools is one of the K-12 leaders for school districts in regards to technology services and security management. And my little end part. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. We must learn from our failures and change. Thank you for your time.